All right, so when you get into politics, you're like super young and you're feeling super inspired. How do you actually go about getting involved in a more like I get elected kind of way?
Yeah, that's kind of like that's like a a multi-step process. It's again, like most of this stuff happens with political parties, right? Um, what I'm working on right now as an independent is not done very often, and frankly, it doesn't succeed very often. But when you do it with political parties, usually the way it works is political parties will have their own small election open only to their members to decide who's going to run for them in a given area. And then that's the person who becomes the candidate in the election. And so oftentimes you have to win not one, but two elections. You've got to win the one in the party, which is called the nomination.
Right.
You need to be nominated. And then, usually like a few months later, you have the general election where everyone goes out to vote and your name appears on the ballot.
Right.
So it's like a two-step process.
And you got affiliated with a party at first.
At first, yeah. And so when I when I first wanted to run, I was 24 and I said, okay, this party, Projet Montréal, looks cool. It looks interesting. They're saying things that I believe in. A little bit of crazy stuff on the side, but mostly good stuff. And so yeah, I'm gonna. Why not? I'll give it a try. And so the first thing I had to do was I had to get enough support from people in the party to actually become the candidate for the party, right? So I had to go out. I needed to speak to members. I needed to sign up new members. That's what happens every time the nomination comes around. You have to sign up new members. You're basically building a big crew behind you because it's like a popularity contest. Whoever shows up with the most people wins. So you sign up as many people as you can. You convince as many people as you can. And when the party holds the nomination vote, you show up with as many people as you can.
What is a party member? This is the volunteer people are the party members, or is this a separate thing?
There are plenty of party members. No, party members like basically anyone who's willing to pay a few bucks for a membership card. And
So you have to become a
Yeah,
salesperson to go to get elected. You have to go generate revenue for your
I have to
party.
I have to be a salesman.
Say a word.
Politicians are very much salesmen. Yeah,
Ah,
there are a lot of similarities.
that is nifty, man. That would be the hardest part. I don't know if like because every time I've ever thought about politics and I thought about like what you have to get 250 people, I think federally to like sign for you to like get in on that level or some shit like that. I'm like, I don't know that I know 250 people right now that would sign for me, and I'm like, that's actually
Yeah,
like a lot of people, like a lot of people. So I'm like, woof.
it adds up. Yeah,
But that also like, on like a criticism point of view, really skews the type of people that lead in a huge way. Because
yeah,
only a certain like, cause like there's a lot of skill sets that make hella sense in leadership positions, like especially in the era of the servant leader in corporate land, where the dominance of the customer service industry is taking out sales in a customer success era, which is super great for me who couldn't sell for anything. But if you bought that, I could keep your money like the best salesman could sell. So like it's just a whole different skill set, right? And
yeah,
the way the game was stacked, it's like, you can't get in the door unless you do direct person to person selling. And that's kind of a
yeah. That's pretty
nifty
much it.
thing. So
Yeah, not everyone's used to it. It does involve a skill set, obviously. Like there are plenty of people who work in sales for their entire lives and they do, very well for themselves because they're good at that.
yeah.
Um, Politics definitely has that element, and yeah, I'm sure that there are lots of people that decide not to do it because they either don't like that part of it or they're intimidated by that part of it. They find it distasteful. Um, some people are lucky enough to not really have to. Some people are so big already that they get recruited and they'll get they'll be given preferential treatment. They'll be parachuted in, and basically the party leader says, like, I want that person. But that's rare. That rarely happens, that they don't have to do that work, that grind to win that first vote. For everyone else, like, it's just nonstop, and it's all convincing people to sign up, and then all convincing them to come out and vote on nomination day. It's not for everyone, and there's a lot of refusals. A lot of people don't feel comfortable signing up with political parties. A lot of people don't like political parties. I wonder why. There's plenty of reasons. A lot of people say, I still remember a lot of people saying, I'm not going to sign up for the nomination, but if you win the nomination, I'll vote for you. That's really nice. But I got to win the nomination, right? Like, that's the first step. If you don't make the first step, chances are you're not going on to the second. So yeah, it's really tough. It's not for everyone. And if you don't like rejection, then you're probably not going to do it for very long. That's so fair. It's and you're absolutely right. It means that some people who would probably make excellent representatives end up not doing it.
Well, it's more they don't have a chance. They just can't compete. It's like, so like they may, I don't know.
Or they won't.
I do believe that in this era, it's about to be a mad shift into ways where old school salesmen finna have a real hard time trying to compete against the people who are a little like internet savvy. Those people are about to dominate the political landscape in ways that are going to reshape it all, in my little opinion. But
old school salesman, you talking about our friend Denis, or
nah,
we're gonna get to that later?
I swear I don't even have much of an opinion. Actually, he seems to be modern right now with his tactics. He's, if anything, the criticism I've heard of him, because I'm not really following it, is he's being a little too try hard with his adopting of modern tactics.
You see the kicks?
I haven't seen any of it. I just have heard.
There's been a little bit of that. Yeah.
Which is fair enough, but I meant it more like it's everything. It's not just politics. I mean, it's all of it. I mean, federal politics. Look at Jagmeet Singh. He went straight for TikTok, and he's going to actually have a much bigger impact than anyone gave him credit for when they made fun of him. But more people are aware of him and what he believes than anybody's going to give a crap about the people not on TikTok for a certain demo, for a certain age group, for a certain this,
for a certain demo,
And then that will be, if a bunch of kids start talking about it, parents are going to pay attention. Like, it has an impact. And like, I'm not saying I haven't followed anything federally, but I'm saying I know that these tactics play in and they're reshaping it. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that honestly, I'm looking at the inception campaigns in Montreal, and I'm looking at the walk around stuff and these pictures of people, and I'm like, man, this is boring. That's why I'm going, the people who will be entertaining with it are ultimately going to win. I care so much about Alex Montenegro's trains. I care so much about them now, and I'm more invested in him over trains than anything real. It doesn't make sense, but that's good marketing.
You got you in the feels.
Bro, you just look at it, and first of all, if you've never seen a man put together like a custom train set in your life, like myself, in real life outside of TV, you're just like, that's reels. And he's so passionate about it with 0% fakeness that you can't help but get absorbed into his love of trains, which makes you relate to him more as a human. And then he did that Punk's F the system, we're going to go watch the hockey game in the park thing. I went and met him there, and I was like, I understand this person behind the political thing. Whatever, everybody can feel what they want. I don't know enough about it. I'm new to all of this. But what I'm saying is,
I didn't even know that he did trains. Yeah. Like, this is news to me.
I added everybody on Facebook, so I'm just seeing what people post and stuff. But he's doing it, man, and and I'm like, Alex is entertaining me, and I think he cares about things. But he does. He squeezes in his little politics here and there, and I'm like, it's really modern content marketing. But you see it in the shift of like, major companies are going from retail focus to subscription focus. Thus, old school selling doesn't work in a subscription model. It's really more like dating now, in a way that's less aggressive and more modern and consent driven. It's like a whole shift in like attitude that has come through, I find. And so what I'm hoping is that y'all get litty with it and don't make it boring. That's my hope. I'm gonna say it to every politician I talk to that I just be more
All order. Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know what that actually represents, but like there's got to be cooler campaigning options than just walking around, which seems to be what a lot of people's strategy is right now. That's all I'm gonna throw it out there. There just has to be cooler stuff that could exist.
I mean, hey man, you want to record a ping pong like face off, get serious.
Bro,
Like we'll go over to Trenton Park and like that's gonna be it. Get people excited about our mad skills.
yo, you know what you guys should do is a ping pong debate thing. Like I'd be invested in that. Like if you went against
Debate while we play.
you and your lady that's working on Sue's team that's going right against you or whatever, Annalisa, I believe her name is. Imagine you and Annalisa do an actual debate while playing ping pong at Trenholm Park. Are you going to tell me that that won't get more people invested in this? Even if y'all are trash at ping pong, people are going to care.